It's Monday, October 7th, and time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Home Affairs Minister Edmund Hinkson is challenging corporate Barbados to hire ex-offenders trying to turn a new leaf in society. Speaking at a church service on Sunday to mark the 12th anniversary of the prison service, he said government is on a mission to stamp out the island's high recidivism rate. Hinkson told the congregation at the Ellerton Wesleyan Holiness Church unemployment remains a major barrier to the reintegration of ex-offenders in society.
I am compelled today also to issue a challenge to corporate Barbados and to individuals who can provide work opportunities to ex-offenders. Please give them a chance to be gainfully employed. We have, of course, a system in Barbados whereby police certificates of character are required for probably about 85% of the jobs which are available in society. This is something that we perhaps have to look at as a government, as policy makers, because, you have to give people a second chance. We all ask for second chances, whether it's in our personal relationships, our public life, whatever. We're only human. To err is to be human. And the main barriers to successful integration into society of prisoners include unemployment, include issues of housing, include obviously issues of family support, which we ask for as well. I encourage families of offenders to give them a chance. They need your support.
Hinkson says there is also room for the government to play its part, and he sees no reason why ex-offenders with a sound business idea should not benefit from government's trust loan scheme.
I would have told the aftercare committee that they have to have dialogue with Rights Ministry on issue of ex-offenders getting special treatment for trust loans. The $5,000 that the government of Barbados and Right have been innovative in giving to people across Barbados to give them a start in terms of their business acumen or helping promote businesses that are already started. And this is a prime situation where the state has the opportunity to intervene to help ex-prisoners.
The Barbados Cancer Society diagnosed 52 new cases of breast cancer within the last year, with the youngest person being 26 years old. However, chairperson of the Society's breast screening program, Dr. Shirley Hanneman Jagaru, says most of those cases will be diagnosed early. The revelation came as she addressed thousands of participants of the annual Walk for the Cure event at Warren's yesterday.
Last year, from June 2018 to June 2000 this year, we've had 52 new cases of breast cancer diagnosed at the breast clinic. That is about one new case a week. However, the good news is most of those cases have been diagnosed very early, giving those women 100% chance of survival. Out of the 52, 16 of these women are below age 40, the youngest being age 26. Therefore, we have an obligation to do more for the younger women. I'm sure you agree with me. This Walk for the Cure awareness has made a tremendous difference as women become more conscious of checking themselves and seeking help soon.
The doors of Sharon Primary School in St. Thomas reopened today for all classes. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has given the all-clear for classes to resume at the location, which was plagued by environmental issues. A statement from the Deputy Chief Education Officer, Joy Adamson, says the school has been cleaned and remedial work has been completed. The statement also noted that preliminary air quality tests have been conducted by a private firm at both Sharon Primary and the nearby Maria Holder Nursery, and those tests reveal no alarming levels of any particular matter. The Ministry of Education says it will, however, continue to monitor the two schools. Last week, students returned to the Maria Holder Nursery School, and Adamson disclosed that there have been no negative reports from students or staff. CARICOM Ambassador David Commichon believes a 3-year-old resolution calling for the United Nations to declare October 6 as an International Day Against Terrorism should be revisited. He made the comment as officials and families of victims of the 1976 bombing of Cubana Airlines Flight 455 gathered at the Cubana Monument in Paynes Bay, St. James yesterday in memory of those who lost their lives. Commichon told the gathering that a resolution was passed in 2016 when he was then coordinator of the Caribbean chapter of the International Network in Defense on Humanity, but he does not believe anything has happened since then.
I think it is a matter that needs to be revisited. I think it's a matter that the present Barbados administration can have a look at and can determine if it is something that we would want to go forward with to the United Nations to call upon the world community to declare 6th of October United Nations International Day Against Terrorism. I think if we can do that, if we can accomplish that, perhaps that would be the most positive thing we could extract out of this horrible, horrible human tragedy. It would mean that we remember these 73 victims. It would mean that we make sure that out of that tragedy, something positive and constructive happens. We would be ensuring that these victims are not victimized again by being forgotten.
Consumers are paying less for gasoline, diesel, and kerosene from midnight Sunday. The price of gasoline moves from $3.81 to $3.65 per litre. That's a decrease of 16 cents. Diesel drops by just a cent. It will now be sold at $3.01, while kerosene moves from $1.35 per litre to $1.31 per litre, a reduction of 4 cents.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, it's budget day in Trinidad. However, the opposition United National Congress at a press conference yesterday charged that the Keith Rowley administration is trying to distract the public from its 2019-2020 financial presentation. Let's hear why in this report from TV6 News.
Opposition Chief Whip David Lee claims that instead of providing 3 clear days as customary to the opposition to respond to the budget, the government is seeking to discuss a motion to approve the Draft Elections and Boundaries Commission, Local Government and Tobago House of Assembly Order 2019. Labeling the move disingenuous, Lee called on the government to respect the usual budgetary parliamentary process.
It is disingenuous that this government can utilize something as important of the presentation of their Minister of Finance on their budget speech, on his budget speech and the budget of the PNM and their last budget, this is their 5th and final budget, to really take away from the population the importance of this budget. So one has asked, maybe there's nothing in the budget and the budget is not important.
According to Lee, it is nonsensical that the government will seek to discuss the EBC report on the same day as the budget. He said, as far as he knows, never in the history of the Parliament has a matter apart from the budget been discussed on Budget Day.
And finally, on the international front, reports are that a second whistleblower has come forward in the impeachment case against U.S. President Donald Trump. We get more in this Reuters TV report.
We learned this morning from attorneys representing now multiple whistleblowers who have...
A second whistleblower with first-hand knowledge of President Donald Trump's dealings with Ukraine has spoken with the intelligence community's internal watchdog. That, according to a lawyer representing the second official on Sunday, who said his client, also from the U.S. intelligence community, has been interviewed by Inspector General Michael Atkinson.
That initial whistleblower said there were about half a dozen individuals who could back up what he said. The attorney for the second whistleblower says there is first-hand knowledge.
A first whistleblower filed a complaint involving a July 25th phone call Trump held with Ukraine's president, in which he asked him to investigate Democratic rival former Vice President Joe Biden. Both whistleblowers are represented by the same legal team. The telephone call and the whistleblower complaint prompted House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi to launch impeachment proceedings on December 24th against Trump, saying his actions jeopardized U.S. election integrity and threatened national security. Donald Trump has fumed about the first whistleblower, accusing him of pushing secondhand information and collaborating with Democrats seeking to undermine his administration.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Isumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.